In this video, we're going to talk about 5 hidden gem neighborhoods in the greater Chattanooga area. So if you're thinking about making the move to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you're looking for the perfect place to live, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to get into 5 of the neighborhoods that I think are really promising, up and coming, but are lesser known by people seeking to move to the area. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. In this first section, I'll give you a brief overview of each of the neighborhoods we're going to be talking about, and then we'll dive into each one of them individually and go into more detail. So the first neighborhood that's a hidden gem here in the Chattanooga area is Apison, Tennessee. If I had to describe Apison in one sentence, it would be that it's a thriving rural retreat. So in Apison, you're a little bit further away from most of Chattanooga. The lots are going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more spaced out. It's a really beautiful, relaxed area. As of July of 2025, the median sale price in Apison was right around $509,000, and this reflects that the lots in this area are larger and the homes tend to be larger as well. Your commute to downtown is going to be at least 25 minutes from Apison, and it could be as much as 45 to an hour depending on traffic and time of day. The next hidden gem we're going to talk about is Redbank, Tennessee. To describe Redbank in one sentence, I would say it's a convenient urban enclave. In Redbank, you're very close to downtown, maybe 8 to 10 minutes. Homes are going to tend to be on smaller lots, a little bit closer together, but you do have the convenience of modern urban amenities right at your fingertips in Redbank. The median sale price as of July 2025 was right around $330,000. And in general, I'd say that this area is really geared toward young professionals seeking close access to downtown Chattanooga. The next hidden gem we're going to talk about is McDonald, Tennessee. If I had to describe McDonald in one sentence, I would say that's a historic area that's quickly being modernized and revitalized. There's not really a town center or urban core to McDonald. It's actually right between Ottawa and Cleveland, Tennessee. So you've got quick access to both, and it's a great area for families where maybe one spouse works in Cleveland and the other works in Chattanooga, or people that are just seeking a little bit more peace and quiet. As of July 2025, the median home sale price in McDonald was right at $510,000. Again, this reflects larger lots and larger homes being sold in the area. The next hidden gem we're going to talk about is Collegedale, Tennessee. Now, Collegedale, or the city of Collegedale, is actually in Ottawa. It's a small city within the Ottawa census area. The median home sale price in Collegedale has been climbing quite a bit over the past few years, but it's in the mid $400,000 range. If I had to describe it in one sentence, I would say it's a very quaint and quiet town with great outdoor access. In the final hidden gem suburb we're going to be talking about in this video is Ringgold, Georgia. Now, a lot of people, when they think of moving to the Chattanooga area, they don't think about Georgia at all, but Georgia could be a great option for you if you want convenient access to downtown Chattanooga and you don't want to pay Tennessee prices. As of the making of this video, the average home sale price in Ringgold, Georgia was $330,000. If I had to characterize Ringgold, Georgia in one sentence, I'd say it's got a very charming historic downtown with some great modern conveniences. For instance, you've got Costco and very close access to I-75, which will quickly take you up to Chattanooga or down to Atlanta, Georgia. All right, now that we've done the high-level overviews, let's jump into an in-depth analysis of each of these hidden gems. So first up, we've got Apison, Tennessee. Apison really is this middle ground between being a quiet country retreat and having easy access to modern urban and suburban amenities. In certain parts of Apison, you're as little as 5 minutes away from Publix, Food City, and some other great shopping areas in the Ottawa area. But at the same time, you can very quickly be out in the country on very large lots with ponds and trees and great privacy. So Apison really is a balance between suburban and country living. To get into the demographics a little bit, the median age in Apison is about 45 years old, and the median household income in Apison is right around $104,000 a year. This makes Apison one of the more affluent communities in the greater Chattanooga area. In Apison, there really is quite a bit of growth tension. I was recently showing a home to somebody that's lived in Apison for almost 40 years, and they were telling me how frustrated they were with all the smaller homes and smaller tracts that are coming into the area. There are a lot of people that have lived in Apison for a very long time, and it's upsetting to them to see all this growth in their quiet country paradise. But with all this growth, there are a number of modern conveniences, and so I think it's a bit of a give and a take. Let's get into the real estate profile for Apison. So the range of home prices kind of starts in the $260,000 range for rancher homes, older homes that need quite a bit of work. and then you can go all the way up into the multi-million-dollar estate range. Kind of the sweet spot for the real estate market in Apison is between $450,000 and $570,000 at about 2,700 square feet. This would be newer and kind of traditional looking builds. When it comes to pricing, if something is in decent condition and it's under $400,000, it usually goes pretty quick, and it would definitely lean towards being in a seller's market. Now, if something is priced around $600,000 or more, it's typically going to spend a little bit longer on the market unless it's a really good deal for what it is. The schools that service this area would be Apison Elementary and East Hamilton Middle School and East Hamilton High School. Now, if you want to know more about the specific ratings of these schools, I would encourage you to check out greatschools.org, where you can find all of the information that you need on these schools. When it comes to things to do and shopping and conveniences in the Apison area, you're looking at about a 27-minute commute on the close side to get to downtown Chattanooga. So if you need to be close to downtown, this might not be the right place for you. But there are a number of conveniences very close by. Within 10 minutes, you can typically be at a great shopping area with lots of grocery stores, restaurants, those sorts of things over in Ottawa. When it comes to getting outdoors, there are a number of pickleball courts in the Apison area that are accessible to the public. There is a dog park over by the fire station as well. And then just over in Collegedale and the Ottawa area, there are a number of outdoor trails on White Oak Mountain and Bauxite Mountain that gear towards mountain bikers and hikers. I believe there's almost 40 miles of trails over there now. There's also a 4.5 to 5 mile greenway that goes from Southern Adventist University over to Little Debbie Park. And I believe it's 4.5 to 5 miles depending on how you go and what little loops around you take. But it's a great way to get outside and to experience some of the nature and scenery that is in Ottawa and this part of Chattanooga. Something to note with living in Apison is it's pretty much entirely vehicle dependent. You need to own a car if you're going to live in Apison. It would be almost impossible to rely on public transit. I suppose you could use Uber all the time, but that would get expensive quick and you'd probably be better off just owning a vehicle. So if you don't drive and you want to rely on public transit, then don't think about Apison. Okay, let's move on to the next suburb, which is Redbank, Tennessee. Okay, so Redbank is a 6.5 square mile city within the greater Chattanooga area, and it is self-governed. So it has its own police department and fire department. The median age in this area is about 37 years old, and it was actually ranked as the 6th most popular place for young professionals in Tennessee. I think that what makes it so desirable for young professionals is that you're very close to downtown Chattanooga. Your commute is going to be 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes if traffic is bad, but you're very close to Chattanooga, so you could get to work quite easily. And then what I like to say is that it's like living in North Shore, Chattanooga without the North Shore price tag and taxes. So for those of you that don't know, North Shore is a very popular neighborhood on the northern shore of the Tennessee River, directly across from downtown Chattanooga. It's very walkable, has a great community feel. There's great parks there, but it is quite expensive to live there. And so a number of people will come to Chattanooga, they'll look at homes in North Shore, they'll price everything out, and then they'll end up looking at a few things in Redbank and decide that it's worth making the trade-off to be a little bit further out and save money living in Redbank. So I think this is really what makes Redbank appealing to young professionals and maybe young families that are looking to make their dollars go a little bit further, but still have that convenient access to downtown. When it comes to real estate in Redbank, the median sale price so far in 2025 has been about $330,000. And again, this is significantly cheaper than the median home price in North Shore and Chattanooga. Like, it's almost half as much. What characterizes this area is you have a number of older homes and older communities that were maybe built in the 1950s and 60s, but that have been relatively well maintained. And then you have a number of newer modern homes that are sprinkled in. The market in Redbank is still pretty competitive. So if you start looking in the area, it's worth getting pre-approved and being ready to move quick if you see something that you like. The schools in Redbank are Redbank Elementary, Middle, and High. If you want to see ratings on these schools, I'd encourage you to check out greatschools.org. Again, what's cool about Redbank is it's very close to a number of very highly ranked private schools and magnet schools in the area. And so a lot of families will try to seek those out for their kids if they're living in the Redbank area. Let's talk a little bit about the community and things to do in the area. So there is a really nice park downtown Redbank. It has, I believe, 6 pickleball courts and a couple of tennis courts right there, a nice playground for the kids, and some green walking space. This is right along Dayton Boulevard, which is kind of the main vein running through Redbank. So on Dayton Boulevard, you have coffee shops, there's some boutiques, there are a few vintage stores, you've got a number of your chain restaurants, some local places. There really is a great mix of a bunch of different stuff over there off of Dayton Boulevard. And then kind of right between Redbank and North Shore, you have Stringer's Ridge and Stringer's Ridge Park. There's a 93-acre park up there on Stringer's Ridge where you can mountain bike and hike and just spend some time out in nature. Also very close by is Signal Mountain, which has a number of trails and amazing places to get outside. And then there is also North Shore very close by, which has a number of incredible parks, places where you could launch your boat onto the Tennessee River. I mean, it is just such a cool place. Hey, really quick, I am a licensed real estate agent in both Tennessee and Georgia. So if you're looking to move to the area, feel free to reach out. My phone number is 423-358-5656. You can call or text or scan the QR code on screen to schedule a meeting with me. All right, back to the video. Okay, let's move on to our next suburb, which is McDonald, Tennessee. So McDonald, Tennessee really is this quiet crossroads, and it has a lot of great country living. In McDonald, there is a tiny historic town, but it's really, really small, and there's not a lot of amenities to it. In the rural zip code that makes up this area, there are about 5,100 people living in McDonald. So it's quite a small little suburb, and it's kind of right between Ottawa and Cleveland, Tennessee. Now, while researching this, I actually learned something that I never knew about McDonald, and I've spent a lot of time over there, so I'm surprised I didn't know this. There is the Bendabout Farm and Polo Club in McDonald, and this place looks awesome. I had no idea that we had a polo club in Chattanooga. I've never played polo, but I think that would be interesting to get into. I saw a polo match once, and it completely blew my mind. So I'm going to definitely go check that out. When it comes to real estate in McDonald, Tennessee, there are not that many listings because people tend to buy in the area and hold on to what they have. And a lot of the tracts are on large plots of land. They're very private, very nice and secluded. So if you're looking for privacy, this could be a great place to go look. The median home sale price swings between $450,000 and $510,000. There are some high-end homes that do bring this average up because of the commute to downtown. Typically, buyers have a little bit more leverage in negotiations than sellers do. When it comes to schools in McDonald, Tennessee, you are in Bradley County. Bradley County is where Cleveland, Tennessee is, and that's where the Cleveland school system is. So I'd encourage you to look at greatschools.org if you want more information on the public schools in the area. When it comes to commute, you're about 20 minutes over to Cleveland in McDonald, Tennessee, and then you could be as much as 45 minutes or maybe even an hour from downtown Chattanooga, depending on where you are. Now, probably on the close end, you're maybe 30 minutes from downtown Chattanooga, but on the far end, you're about 45. The next hidden gem we're going to talk about is Collegedale, Tennessee. Now, a lot of people have heard of Ottawa, Tennessee. It's a very popular suburb, but many people moving to the area or looking to move to the area don't know that Collegedale is actually a city within Ottawa. I believe that the city was actually founded for Southern Adventist University, just adjacent to Southern Adventist University's campus, and still within Collegedale is McKee Foods corporate headquarters and a number of their plants. So these are the makers of Little Debbie. They really do anchor the economy in the Collegedale area, and they're one of the largest employers in Chattanooga as a whole. Collegedale really does have a reputation for being a very safe and quaint and quiet city within the greater Chattanooga area. Let's talk about real estate in Collegedale. So there are a number of older homes in the Collegedale area, and then recently there has been a bit of a new construction surge in this area. So there are townhomes going in, more modern homes. There are a number of developments that are just getting started in the Collegedale area. As of the making of this video, I'm seeing that the median home sale price in Collegedale so far in 2025 has been right around $470,000, which seems a little bit high, but it makes sense as there is so much demand for housing in the area. I actually live in Collegedale, Tennessee. It's one of my favorite places in the greater Chattanooga area as a whole. And so I'm always really happy to help people out when they're looking in the Collegedale area specifically. When it comes to education, Collegedale is zoned for Wolf Teeter Elementary and Ottawa Middle School and Ottawa High School. Then on the private education side of things, there is Collegedale Academy, which is an Adventist school. It's K through 12. And that kind of feeds students into Southern Adventist University, which is the large college in the area. The big amenities in the Collegedale area would be the Collegedale Commons. This is an event venue and space. It's got places that you could rent for weddings, for farmers markets, for makers markets, for all kinds of different things. They do so many community events over there, and it's a really great thing to have in Collegedale itself. There's also Little Debbie Park, which has an amazing playground and walking area for families and kids. And then just adjacent to that is the Imagination Station Park. Again, this is another playground that is perfect for kids. I remember growing up and going to the Imagination Station, and it was one of my favorite places and favorite playgrounds in the area. There's also the Wolf Teever Greenway. It goes right along the Wolf Teever Creek and has beautiful views and is very, very easy to walk. It's got a 6-foot wide concrete path on it. So if you want to get out and push a stroller or walk with a friend, it's a great place to go. Southern Adventist University owns and maintains trails for mountain biking and hiking on White Oak Mountain and on Bauxite Mountain. And I believe there's almost 40 miles of outdoor trails there now. So this is a great feature to have. In addition, there are a number of pickleball courts and tennis courts in the area. Okay, let's jump to our final hidden gem, which happens to be Ringgold, Georgia. So when a lot of people think of moving to the greater Chattanooga area, they don't really consider Georgia. There's a couple reasons that most people don't think about Georgia. The first is that you pay state income tax in Georgia. And the second is that when people think of Chattanooga, Tennessee, they just think of Tennessee. They don't think of how close Georgia actually is to Chattanooga. So the state income tax thing is real. That's a real expense that you're going to have to pay if you live in Georgia, but it might not be as much as you think, especially if you're spending more for a house in Tennessee than you would in Georgia. That extra money going into your mortgage might actually end up netting out to be about the same between Tennessee and Georgia. So this is not tax advice. I'm not a tax professional, but I would encourage you to speak with your tax professional and see if it makes sense for you to live in Tennessee or in Georgia, and at which price points you would pick which place. So what I love about Ringgold is that it's got this very, very charming historic downtown. This downtown is kind of a Civil War era downtown, so there are a number of old brick buildings, restaurants, and it just has a great community feel to it. There are also a number of parks. It's a very walkable area. There is quick access to the Chickamauga Creek there. And so it's just a very beautiful, charming, quaint town to be in. You also have very easy access to I-75. So if you're looking to commute down to Atlanta, that's very easy to do from Ringgold. And then it's also quite easy to hop on 75 and head north towards Chattanooga and then take 24 over that way, or head north towards Knoxville. When it comes to real estate, Ringgold, Georgia is a very stable seller's market. The median home sale price so far in 2025 has been right around $330,000, and homes tend to spend under 2 months on market. When it comes to schools in the area, you're part of the Catoosa County school system. The specific schools for the area would be Ringgold Primary, Middle, and High. So again, if you're looking at specific ratings for schools, check out greatschools.org. They'll give you all the information you need. Another thing that's great with Ringgold is that there are a bunch of community events. So during Halloween, there's a really cool haunted barn down there. There's also the Locomotive Museum. They do a Christmas parade, and just nearby Ringgold is the Chickamauga Battlefield, which is a huge historic military park. There's also Lake Winnepesaukah nearby, which is an amusement park in the area. So the commute from downtown Ringgold to downtown Chattanooga is about 22 minutes, which really is not bad. I mean, that is a very doable commute, especially for the prices that you're going to expect to pay in the Ringgold area. If you made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you for watching. I make a ton of content on what it's like to live in the greater Chattanooga area, and YouTube thinks you might like one of these videos here. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.